All right, and welcome back, everybody. We guys just got wrapped up with the Dirt League here tonight. Now we're on to the asphalt. Thank you, Marty Zacala, for passing off the baton here. Patrick Morrison here in the booth with the Coast2Coast Racing Network and Simtrax Broadcasting as we're getting lined up for the finale race here at the Xfinity League. These guys are going to be running tonight. Definitely a good pack of drivers here so far. I think I'm showing just shy of 30 drivers out here on the track at none other than Daytona. These guys are going through a slight driver's meeting here before we get going. So let's take a look at what we've got going on to the track at this point. 75 laps are going to be in the books here for tonight. Fortunately, there are going to be two fast repairs. If you guys remember anything about Tuesday night, boy, these guys are going to need them. So hopefully they've learned a thing or two from that, and we're going to see if we can kind of have a better showing here tonight, especially in the Xfinity League. I know people like, Roger Craig. I know Brandon Ishcanyon's looking to have a better turnout. Christopher Schaefer, right now, who's showing top on the board here tonight for the practice. All these guys are looking to have a better turnout here tonight, and hopefully they do just that. Unlimited tires will be out there and 50% fuel. Like I said, I expect to see a few cautions here and there, and I don't think fuel will be really that much of an issue. But boy, the C2C League, they've got things lined up for this upcoming season. Definitely a different way how they're looking to do this league with the coming to the asphalt. As we're taking a quick look here at Neil Strausser. Looks like I'm used to seeing him actually in that Miller Lite car, but it looks like tonight he is going to be in another alcohol vehicle. Looks like he's rocking Blue Moon out there in the number 68. Let's go ahead and get this off our screen there. That way we can take a peek at what I'm talking about here as we were getting really locked and loaded here for Daytona International Speedway. Taking the podium last week, Joseph Canellis in the number 1 car got it done. And you want to talk about turning it around there. Joseph Canellis, fantastic job last week. Hopefully we're going to see a lot more of that out of him here tonight. Jackson Lomax came second. Points leader right now, Zachary Chapman came third. Christopher Schaefer came fourth. And Matt Robinson came in the 5th position. I was fortunately able to talk to Matt Robinson on Tuesday, and he's looking to really redo that here tonight in his 15 Toyota. So we'll see if that Sundrop car can get into another podium here at Daytona again. But it's not without heartache. A lot of guys are getting wrecked up out here at the Super Speedway and these restrictor plate tracks. So we got to watch out for what is to be expected. Let's take a look here at qualifying times. No one on the board just yet. I got about maybe about 10, 15 drivers out there so far. No one has laid a time down yet, but it will be momentarily, it will be out. Definitely should be a good showing here so far. Let me take a look here at the points to be 100% what we're looking at for the Xfinity. I know I say it is a finale. Only about five races run in this one. And seeing the success of this league here so far, if I'm not mistaken, next season you guys will be with Travis Piercefield. And I believe points running, Zachary Chapman leading the way with 385. So he may be bringing home, a so-called season finale cup championship here. I would say if he ran a full 12-week season, but seeing, like I said, definitely they're going to line him up next season here. Brandon Ishcanyon sitting second. Jeremy Tate moved up 4 positions from the last race. He is in 3rd. Christopher Schaefer moved up 4 positions as well into 4th. And Aiden Young, who was really hot there, only has participated in 3 races, and he is in 5th. Unfortunately, he lost 3 positions with the no-show. I knew he wasn't feeling real well out there, but we'll see if that 69 machine has anything for us out here tonight. As I believe, let's see, he is here, but I don't know if he is out onto the track just yet. Hopefully Aiden Young in the 69 can get loaded up here and ready to go. Matthew Robinson, as we're keeping our eyes right here on him now, sitting right now for a pole position. Definitely a really good start. We know Matthew Robinson and Kyle Moon, and these two guys get together. We're pretty well out there, so hopefully these guys are kind of able to work a lot better together on this one. Great job there, actually, by Preston Cranmer in the 07 Chevrolet out there tonight. Coming in second right now, but we'll see if anybody can dethrone him at this point with that fast lap he laid down. Preston Cranmer sitting at a 50.75 out there on the track at this point. Joseph Canellis, last week's winner, sitting in 4th. I think he's kind of taking a couple more laps here. I think he's already gotten his 2 in. See if we got anybody else rocking and rolling around the track. Dustin Rainstedel here. See how he's going in the 18 Toyota. Definitely taking the low line, and that's what you're going to see a lot of here tonight. All right, 14th is where he was sitting. Takes the pole. What a run. Excellent job. What a run. Holy cow. Yeah, he really smoked that time. Man, that was a great turn. Well, I'm showing I think he beat him by about 0.04 of a second. That was a great turn. Great job there by Dustin Rainstedel there. All right, let's see if we got anybody else out there on the track. I see him and Zachary Chapman. Zach right now sitting in 20th position at this point. And that's what you'll notice out of some of these guys is you ride that top lane, get those tires nice and hot, run off some of that fuel, and then you'll see him start slicing the track just like that. Hopefully it'll help Zach Chapman out here just a little bit, and it does. 20th to 3rd, so it obviously worked. Definitely a lot of fast drivers here so far. 20 on the track have qualified here so far, and it looks like that's going to be it. These guys are not going to continue qualifying. That is going to be the finish for them as we get wound up for this for the race here tonight. See if we can chase down some of these guys down pit road as they're getting ready to get set up here. Let's take a look at our starting lineup. So Dustin Rainstedel, we saw him getting it there on the pole. Matthew Robinson starting second. Zachary Chapman and Preston Kramer starting row 2. Row 3 will be Pat Boyce, Christopher Berger. Not bad by Pat Boyce. Definitely good to see a bunch of salty dogs getting here in the top 10. With Joseph Canella starting 7th. Doyle Lowrance into 8th. Jeffrey Kemper starting 9th with Jackson Lomax into the 10th position. Looking good here so far with John Rayner in the 11th and Tim Chapman starting 12th. Rotating back, Terry Landis in the 13th position. Neil Strausser into the 14th. So we'll see if that 68 Blue Moon car can get to the front. That moves us to Mike Cranmer in the 70. Sitting in 15th, Stephen Bixler 16th. Randy Shreves, Mr. Consistency, coming away with a division win in the 358s, unseating Isaac Salas, starting 17th here in the Xfinity League here tonight. Jim Bowie into the 18th position. Roland Olson with a 19th place start. Christopher Schaefer actually starting a lot farther back than I expected to see him here. They're in the 20th position. Aiden Young starting 21st. John Hine 22nd. Brandon Ish Canyon in the 23rd with Kyle Mooning starting 24th. So I will see if maybe Aiden Young decide not to qualify. I know he is definitely one of the ones who kind of, I prefer to sit back, let everybody kind of wreck each other out, and then he'll attack the second half of the field. Let's move on to the rest. Brendan Lacey and Jacob Butcher, 25th and 26th. Jeremy Tate starting 27th. Stephen Goldner, Brendan Lacey's best buddy out there, starting in that 28th position. And Roger Craig bringing up the back end of the field here in the final row. Row 15, that is. And that is going to be our grid here tonight. Definitely should be a good showing. Definitely missing a few other drivers out here, but that's A-okay. We'll go ahead and keep our eye on them as they get ready and locked and loaded for this. Guys, you like what you see and you want to try it out here in this league, go to C2CRL.com. Definitely a place you want to catch up with. They've got dirt, they've got road racing, they've got asphalt circle track like you see here. So that's definitely something you might want to keep in mind and check out. So C2CRL.com. You can visit them. And guys, if you like what you're hearing on the broadcasting through your ears here, don't forget to go to SimtracksBroadcasting.com. You can find me there. I'm working Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and the occasional Sunday with the big show. So keep that in mind as we get our way back onto the track here, taking a look here at the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper. If I'm not mistaken, tuning into Marty Zacala's broadcast here tonight. That Pro Late model was on its lid here tonight, so that 181 looking to kind of turn around his luck here and see if he can battle his way back to the front. Right now, Jeffrey Kemper sitting locked in at the 17th position in points along with Roger Craig. So Jeffrey Kemper's got a lot of work to do to get his way toward the front. And I think there are a lot of guys out here that kind of, this is definitely a trial period here for the Xfinity League. But everybody's showing how well they're doing. Everybody's doing, really kind of hitting their marks. and the driving's getting better, and they're looking to expand vastly, seeing the amount of drivers are looking to put time down onto the track. Should be a good run here so far. Let's see if John Hine, who's actually going to be RC for the race here, starting there in the back, see if he can battle his way toward the front. Definitely, after what we saw on Tuesday, I think these guys have learned a little something from one another, and hopefully they're going to kind of calm this race down. But let's get this green flag underway as Dustin Renstedel and Matthew Robinson into the front row. Zach Chapman, our points leader, starting right behind that 18 car you see right there. He's going to see if he can push his way through. And definitely, if there's one thing these guys kind of want to take into account here, is weight. Big word, as you'll hear 1,000 times from any driver, patience is key. And that's not, if people try to force the lane here, and this is not dirt, so it's going to be tough. As it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that might be Ish Canyon off the track here. Something might have happened there and slung him off the track, so he's got a lot of work to do to try to calm that race car down here. See him slide up into 3. A lot of things you're going to see these guys connect is exiting 4, which is right here. We'll kind of see if anybody gets snappy here. Whoa, yeah, let's see that little wiggle right back there. Kind of in this John Rayner, Steven Bixler area. 75 getting a little bit loose there, but that's okay. It's time to wait for those tires to heat up and tack back onto the track. Seeing what we're looking at, track temperature at 104. So it should be pretty good here for the tires to tack up and stay stuck. It's not like we're running 60 degrees out here and you got to wait about 8 laps for them to start sticking to the track. Definitely everybody trying to start moving here just a little bit. Going 3 wide would not be wise at a time like this. I would admit sometimes out there on the track you'll run into overheating issues. As you can see, the 30 car starting to really push here of Steven Goldner. Goldner trying to catch up to Brennan Lacey. Both of these guys have moved up tremendously. Brennan Lacey up 9 positions, Steven Goldner up 11. So right now, guys on the move. Outside line starting to form up and starting to put some times down. Matthew Robinson sees it, uses it, gets the lead, and drops out of the way of Preston Cranmer, who helped him get him there. The number 2, Christopher Berger, looking to see if he can kind of keep his run going here as well. Outside line still has a chance, and I think the 15 of Matthew Robinson will figure that out here momentarily. Not too bad. Almost completed 3 laps here. No caution. Not too shabby. I'm liking it. Hate to see the race go fast, but I really like seeing good racing. Good racing's always under green. All right, Preston Cranmer's going to get himself a chance to lead a lap, and he does on the outside. So, once again, maybe these guys will kind of figure out not to tuck on off. Don't tuck down to the bottom. Just stay to the outside, and you got a chance of really winning this race here. Preston Cranmer hanging there on the outside. Christopher Berger thinking about it. It might be just time to stick with him here. Berger looking to the outside, getting a little more fresh air. Preston Cranmer knows they stay solid. Definitely some wiggling through the track here. Good job by all these drivers. Not really, not seeing a whole lot of forced movement here, which is good. Preston Cranmer gets a little close here to Dustin Renstedel here. Got to be careful. These two almost touch. So looks like somewhere back here, looks like we almost ended up 3 wide around that Steven Bixler area again. Yeah, watch out for Joseph Canellis here. Looking pretty good out there on the track. Definitely got himself a win already. All he had to do was stay clean, stay out of trouble. Number 3 makes a dangerous move. Lawrence there toward the top. But once you make a move, you've kind of got to stay committed here. Can't move up a lane and then say, oh, I don't like where I am, and then move. Try to get back. Preston Cranmer trying to see if he can find some speed here. Has lost the lead, back down to 4th. Oh, a little contact with the wall with Preston Cranmer here. So he's starting to feel that draft here, and it's starting to loosen this car up. Definitely the cars are starting to get not getting as tight as they were, which for some drivers, that's perfect. Nice having a little bit of slack in the car. Definitely if you've got that steering ratio real low, it's going to be touchy and hard to turn. As we take a look here, the two Chapmans almost side by side, 37 and the 72, and we got him connecting here. Jeffrey Kemper hoping for that better turnaround here, and that is not going to happen as Jeffrey Kemper is at least one of those cars in this tangle up here. I think that may be the 75 of Steven Bixler as well. That is going to bring out our first caution here for tonight. Almost got a pretty good run here. Let's see if I can take it, roll it back. Let's get us another replay here from the top side and kind of figure out what happened here. Because we were right on the cusp of when it started. 181 of Jeffrey Kemper, the Gatorade. We took a look at him earlier in the race. And we kind of see it starting at, yep, right there. Gets hammered. Actually, Bixler gets up into the 414 of Brendan Lacey here. Yeah, that's a weird shot. And it looks like Lacey trying to force a 3 wide. And I think that might be what's happening here. Not sure why the 75 may have moved into the 414. But let's take a look here. Let me see if I can find maybe a top view. Wow. Talk about upstairs here. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit closer. See if the 75 just tries to hook him. I thought Bixler had a problem here with the accordion effect that ended up being a checkup there from Boyce. But the 75 looks like he kind of rotates up. And that's one thing we're noticing here from iRacing is a little bit of that net code when we're getting 3 wide. Yeah, Kemper never saw it coming. Collects up with the 75 here. Rayner back into Kemper. Kemper back up the track. Good Lord. Yeah, some of these drivers here in the back, there's Roland, there's Aiden Young, there's Ash Canyon, there's Roger Craig. So they obviously learned a little something there from the from the last race that we saw. Definitely something to kind of keep in mind. You know, these guys are, I mean, wrecks are going to happen, caution's going to happen. Everybody's got a learning curve here. The more guys race around each other and get a good feel for each other, this is kind of what's going to happen. But it looks like a few guys are electing to come down pit. Right now I'm showing starting from the 15th position of Zach Chapman all the way back has decided to pit. Interesting enough. I'm not sure there on John Hine. I don't know if John Hine ended up as a disconnect here. Don't even see a lap put down, so he might have checked out for the race here. All right, let's take a look here at Doyle Lowrance. And really, that's kind of, it's okay. I would say these guys actually pitting and coming down and getting tires, it's not going to matter as much. The only ones that look like they got tires was Tim Chapman and Neil Strausser, Aiden Young, Jeffrey Kemper, Jim Bowie, and Steven Bixler. I think everybody else did a fuel and go and back onto the track. Like I said, I can't blame them. Roger Craig's moved up now 15 points here into now 14th. Brendan Lacey was in that accident there. That last pileup. Brendan Lacey now into the 8th position as we speak in that 414 machine. A little used to seeing Brendan Lacey actually running a white and blue scheme. Looks like he's running a red one here tonight. He does have some damage on the side of that race car, though. Definitely not looking good for him. Yeah, definitely he's got some damage on the right front. I probably would have come down and gotten a little bit of that fixed. Not use a fast repair, but at least try to hammer some of that out there. Because that's going to be an ugly one. Yeah, he's got some damage even on the back side of that car. So we'll keep an eye here on the 414 machine and see how bad this affects him here tonight. But finally, Christopher Berger getting back into the front row here. He'll be lining up alongside of Jackson Lomax. Preston Cranmer and Matthew Robinson will be in the second row here. That'll bring us the 18 of Dustin Rainstedel, who was our pole sitter. With Doyle Lowrance sitting 6th. Joseph Canellis and Brendan Lacey next to each other. And rounding out the top 10 will be actually Terry Landis and Randy Shreves. And it's good to see Randy Shreves up here in the top 10. Glad to see him actually giving the Xfinity here a good shot. Definitely taking a look at these guys. And I know I know Matthew Robinson's hoping for a good show here tonight. Definitely keeping an eye here on Matthew Robinson. Hopefully we'll be able to see him do, like I said, a great job here tonight. But we got a long way to go in this one. We're only 10 laps into it here. And these guys are really going to have to consider what they're doing at this point. All right, pace car is off. You heard the shifting by Matthew Robinson. He's getting locked and loaded. Second gear they go to get off and started. And away we go. Double file all the way back. Love to see it. Definitely a good race here so far. And only one caution. Let's go ahead and take a look at him riding around this turn. Yes. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look back at it as Christopher Berger working that outside line. Definitely, you saw it. Interesting to see that now somebody has ditched that bottom line. Number 2, Christopher Berger up toward the top, following with Jackson Lomax. These guys figured out that they could work well together, so let's just go ahead and keep the good work moving. Inside line, the key is not to be intimidated here. The inside line will work for a little while. Give it about 2 or 3 laps here, and that outside line will be the more dominant lane. Good driving here so far. Roger Craig still in that 14th spot. Brennan Lacey fought up another position. Has broken into the top 10 here. Lacey on the move. Hopefully starting from the back, getting his way to the front. Roland Olson now up to 12th. 48 machine getting behind Mike Cranmer, the 70. Ooh, easy there, Roland. Rolling off the table there just a little bit. And we're starting to see Kyle Moonen there behind the 61 of Terry Landis. Definitely a little switching up here so far from some of our drivers out there. Right now, Matthew Robinson back into the lead. Yeah, now, man, if there's one thing I'd be scared about right now, Roger Craig right now watching that 61 of Terry Landis waving like that. Oof. Looks like the 68 car, I think that is Neil Strausser, is into the wall. Let's see if he can maintain. Good job there by Chris Schaefer checking up. No sense in driving through that one. Definitely want to drop to the bottom and follow Aiden Young around here. Aiden Young sitting now up to the 20th position. Now that 68 kind of blocking him down toward the bottom there. Definitely want to shove him below that yellow line. You cannot pass below the yellow line. It looks like Christopher Schaefer's going to get it done. Let's stick up here with Mike Cranmer. Looks like everything's starting to get a little loose here toward the front pack here. Not too shabby here so far. 13 laps into it. Man, oh man, oh man. Good driving out of these guys here so far. Taking a look at that 18 right now. Let's look at the dashboard inside the car. See if we can see what we got going on here. 185 miles an hour out of that car. Definitely pretty conservative here. You know there's a chance of these cars getting up around that 200 mile an hour mark. Top speed actually for Dustin has been 194. Out there on the track, fastest one out there was Roger Craig at 199 miles an hour. So that 18 definitely kind of throttling it down here a little bit to make sure we're not smashing into each other. And that's good thought. I like the way he's thinking on that. So far, so good here on the track. Joseph Canellis there. We're seeing him move now into the 7th position. That number 1 car. Winner of the race last Thursday. So he is no stranger to winner's circle. Ooh, man. Definitely a lot of movement back there in that Stephen Goldner area. Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of guys weaving around here, but hey, I would much rather bobbing and weaving is okay. It's going to happen. But what you're seeing here is, that, like, watch how Terry Landis is kind of moving around here. And I'm not just picking on him. It's just something I'm noticing. Watch how the 61 kind of bobs around here a little bit. When he bobs around, it sets the 24 off a little bit. See how the 24 kind of wiggles? And then it just works its way back. And it gets Roger Craig wiggling. And then it starts getting the back end wiggling and then because you see how the entire line starts moving like a snake. So it's not following the draft. It's starting to take the downforce off, and the car almost steer itself. So these guys are really having a battle around the track each and every turn here as we get going around. Let's see if I can take a ride here actually with Randy Shreves. We'll kind of see that wheel. It's not as straight as you would think, but you see him kind of bobbing that wheel around here. See if he can keep it all collected. Yeah, you definitely hear him picking up on the throttle here of Randy Shreves. Not too bad by this gentleman right here. Like I said, finally getting himself a division win and his first win in the 358 division. So definitely Mr. Consistency here, making it happen. Right now, Randy Shreves is up 9 positions in the 8th. Definitely a good turnaround. That's one thing about a super speedway. That's less like a short track. It's hard to kind of flip the field. As these guys are fighting their way here around Daytona. Not too bad here so far. Looks like a little bumbling around there by Roland Olson, falling off the table again. I don't know if he's getting a little pressure there by Brennan Lacey in the 414 that's behind him, who's now dropped down to the 18th spot. Yeah, definitely interesting to see if Roland Olson's got something, kind of something going on here on the inside of Jeffrey Kemper, who seems to have recovered after that last wreck here. Jeffrey Kemper back up to 14th, now 13th. Oh, man, I think we're getting ready to start getting 3 wide here with Terry Landis. And there it is. Can I make contact with Kyle Moonen? Excellent job there by Kyle Moonen, holding the wheel. Excellent job. Push through the contact, and he stays on the ground. Man, I love it. Definitely a great addition here to any league, especially the Xfinity and the Truck League. Here is Kyle Moonen in the 24. Kyle Moonen actually up 13 positions. I do say he has been a great addition. I will admit he has had to serve a penalty here tonight, along with Roland Olson and Roger Craig. So these guys were both all were not able to qualify here. So they are battling their way back toward the front. Fortunately, you've got a super speedway to battle for your time back. Quick little blink there by Mike Cranmer. See if he gets back on the track, and he does. But the battle still rages on here in the front with Matthew Robinson, Preston Cranmer, Christopher Berger, and Jackson Lomax. These guys here in the top 4 have just been here all night. Right now, Dustin Renstedel there has got to be appreciating that. And we got a slam off the wall, and Kyle Moonen's in it. That should bring out a caution here, but I'm not seeing one. No caution. Really? No kidding. Yeah, that might be it for Kyle Moonen's night, seeing how it's totaled him here. Let's take a peek real quick here with a quick replay and figure out what happened. Top side and see if I can see what happens here. Uh-oh. Looks like him and Mike Cranmer got into it here, but who was that who was blinking? See if we can get a little closer here. I think was that Randy Shreves in the 56 here blinking? 56 in front of him here. What happened? Whoa. Yeah, not quite sure what happened there, but that is Kyle Moonen getting passed right now. Under green flag. I am blown away how that was not a caution, but definitely we'll keep an eye here out there what's going on. I'm not showing Randy Shreves out here with a speed. I don't know if something just went down. If Randy Shreves had a disconnect or a monitor go down on him. But hopefully we'll check out there in the chat and see if anything happened to Randy Shreves or if we can get an update. Pit stops are starting to happen now. Cranmer, Robinson, Renstedel, and Brennan Lacey. Obviously, Kyle Moon is going to come down and see if we can get that race car put back together here. As we are back under, as we're now under caution. Actually, I think the number 1 of Joseph Canellis is involved. And it looks like Aiden Young's in the wall. A lot of parts missing off a lot of race cars here. And there's the caution that Kyle Moonen needed about a lap ago. All right, let's take a quick look at this on the top end. Joseph Canellis in the 1. I believe that's Stephen Goldner on the top. Well, good job by the other salty dogs that were behind him there. Not quite sure what Stephen Goldner happened to him. And then on top of that, we've got to figure out how Aiden Young got tangled up in this. So let me take another shot at this. Kind of what happens here. I don't know why Stephen Goldner, why he turns here. Let me see. Stephen Goldner. I got one. Here we go. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Definitely not a good one here by the number 1 car. See if we can float a little bit higher here and see if I can figure out where Aiden Young got caught up right there, hitting Joseph Canellis. There goes the 69 car down toward the bottom. Careening out of control, and I think he's going to take... Oh, has he got enough asphalt to stop? And just barely clicks the wall there. Chad's definitely going to bring a pit stop for 90% of our drivers out here. All right. See if any of them coming back down. Pit stops, like I said, are happening as we speak, as we're taking a look here at Aiden Young coming down pit again. Probably pit for the first time as he's getting his way back down here. Some drivers are pitting or back out onto the track. 69 machine's still banged up. 48 looks like he's banged up pretty bad. I think Aiden Young might just have to use his first fast repair here tonight, and we'll see if Aiden Young can kind of put that thing back together out here. Everybody right now has pit except Jim Bowie here in the 058. He pit back on lap 7. Right now, everybody else has pit except him. Alrighty. Pace car lights are still on here. Almost a lap 25 here out of 75. Well, that way we'll at least reach that 1/3 mark. Not too bad, 1/3, and only 2 cautions, so that's a lot better than some nights. A lot better. So we're obviously getting better, but I'm waiting to see how many guys get antsy. A lot of guys moving around here. Terry Landis getting a little loose here during the race. Waiting to see if the 058 Jim Bowie here, what ends up happening to his race car. If he ends up having to file back, if he stayed out or whatnot. Showed him in the lead. Now he's sitting in 4th. Yeah, oddly enough, after that caution, Stephen Goldner's in the lead. Gotta admit, I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe just a quick pit stop time. Showing his pit stop time on 22 was 0.08 of a second. So he came down, fast repair, back out on the track while everybody else probably took tires. Zach Chapman actually sitting in the 2nd position. At least up 1 position from where he originally started this race. Had a 7-second pit stop. So some of these other guys, did get fuel. Some just got right. Some got all 4. So we're going to have a good mix of drivers out here. Remember I said there were unlimited tires here, so Super Speedway won't burn the tires off, kind of more like Talladega. but it's a good safety. Yeah, it's kind of a good insurance plan, unless you're looking for some definitely change on the grid, which Stephen Goldner's up 27 positions, and Roger Craig now into 9th, up 20 positions. So definitely big movers of the race here. As we get back underway, let's see what happens now. No, Joseph Canellis, pretty calm and cool and collected guy, but after that last connection there with the 30, we'll see if Joseph Canellis can battle from that 21st spot back up to the front. Quick breakaway here by that front row. Doyle Lowrance right behind Stephen Goldner here, and now these guys actually have some separation from the field. Interesting to see here. You definitely see the distance. Zach Chapman's got to close the gap. Well, these guys might be able to run away with it here. Alrighty, we're starting to single file all the way back here. All the way back to John Rayner, at least back to the 9th position. Whoop, just as I say that, John Rayner makes a wild move, almost hits the wall. Not quite sure. Some of these guys, it's just weird, just the angles these guys are kind of jerking around. But let's see if the father and son duo here, the 72 and the 37, can work something out and push their way up to the front. Zach Chapman and Tim Chapman both had just shy of 8-second pit stops here. Jeffrey Kemper on the outside with Roger Craig in the 747. Inside line is starting to really form up. And those gaps are actually created by a whole lot of aerodynamic bubbles. Just enough space that they can all now scrunch up and now get that outside line working. Outside line is with Roger Craig there. And Jeffrey Kemper has got to get a couple more guys and a lot closer. That requires Terry Landis to snug up, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is the 07 of Preston Cranmer. Cranmer's got to get a lot closer to that 61 for this outside lane, and they are. Here it comes. Outside lane is starting to move. 181 on the outside of the John Rayner here. Good job there by Roger Craig. Connect down the straightaway, let off during the turn. Perfect. And it works textbook, and they're gaining positions. Jeffrey Kemper now into 4th. Outside line is pulling their way around here, and they're getting, they just keep moving and moving and moving here as we're getting down the front stretch. Finish line, there it is. Let's start in lap 28 here. Jeffrey Kemper now into 3rd. Roger Craig up 24 positions and now into 5th. Looking for more. Just a hair outside the 72 car of Zach Chapman. Tim Chapman snugs up a little bit to see if he can break the draft of that outside line. Number 2 of Christopher Berger just outside of our screen here, looking to fight his way back into a top 5. Long way to go, Roger Craig. Solid pushing here so far, and they're going to have a hell of a run into turn 3. Pushing around they go. Man, Roger Craig's getting loose. Definitely something to see, and it's hard to control, but they are definitely making it work here top line. Tim Chapman's got his head on a swivel here, watching that 747 wiggle above him. Tim Chapman almost into Jeffrey Kemper here. Man, definitely looking from the top side here. Tim Chapman back up top. Rubbing up against that 747, they make contact. Definitely, if you're in that area of that Jackson Lomax, this is not what you want to see in front of you. Let's take a look at it from his hood. Now let's see what he sees in front of him here. Oh, man, Roger Craig all over it here, getting super loose. Roger Craig did pit. Looked like only maybe a right side set of tires or only fuel. 8-second pit stop for him as well. Definitely guys are loosening up, and I gotta admit here from the booth, I have no idea how these guys haven't connected yet. This entire top 10 right now looks like a can of worms. Wow, hold on there, Tim Chapman. As Tim Chapman's rolling up the grid here a little bit. Yeah, Jackson Lomax starting to lay off here just a little bit and kind of seeing what happens in front of him. It's looking pretty dangerous. But speaking of danger, Stephen Goldner might see the lead disappear from him momentarily as Kemper, Roger Craig, and Terry Landis on that outside line getting around here. And that outside line formed up. It worked, but now it's going to have to come to a stop here. Whoa, who is spinning out here in the back? Is that Neil Strausser just let go? Yeah, easy there, bud. Looked like Neil Strausser kind of let off the gas or hit the brakes and slid off the track there. I think Roland Olson may have been involved in this one, seeing that his car is dog tracking bad. If I were him, even entering the closed pit only means you end up with an EOL, and if you're pitting, you're at the back of the line anyway, so no sense in trying to drag that race car around. He decides against it. All right, let's go back and figure out what happened to this 48 Chevrolet here, Roland Olson. Alrighty, everybody, bear with me just a second. I want to make sure I give you guys the best view here from the top. And if I'm not mistaken, this ends up not in a good shape and not his fault. We're taking a look at it from the top. Looks like Christopher Schaefer's taking it to a 3-wide condition here. Sitting right in the middle. Looks like John Rayner's on the inside. And if I'm not mistaken, that may be Randy Shreves with a 56 on the outside. Let's try to see if we can get a little closer here. Like I said, here's red. Oh, what in the world? All right, baby, that's netcode. That is netcode. There ain't nothing. This is textbook netcode. Watch what happens to the 23 here. Why? Why did it jerk him into Randy Shreves here? So wherever Randy Shreves is, there is a massive amount of netcode around there. You see the 23 go completely through the 414. 414 turns the 48 of Roland Olson. Looks like that's what hit Neil Strausser here. 75 of Bixler. Fixated. Boom. Hits him. And I think it might continue. Boy, if you're Aiden Young, not again. Look out. Let's try to stick with Aiden Young here. Joseph Canella seeing if he can floss his way around. And I think that might be just good enough. I think everybody's going to go ahead and get around that. So that is textbook netcode. 110% netcode. There was no reason Christopher Schaefer's car, number 1, should have turned. It looked like he hit a wall from the left front. Why, I don't know. But it seems that more iRacing is updated so far. The netcode is just starting to get worse, and 3-wide condition here at Daytona. You're taking your life and you're racing in your own hands here. As you can see right there from the caution replay screen, this is actually a Daytona wreck from a 3-wide condition as well. I've taken a few pictures of that, and that's what you're going to see a lot of here tonight if this keeps up. Joseph Canellis back up to 20th now. Still a long way to go. Did pit on lap 31 here. So definitely taking his chances here, topping off with fuel. Back out he goes. Christopher Schaefer in that last tumble up. Looks like he came down pit road as well. Right now, let me see if I can find actually Zach Chapman. So everybody outside the top 10 is pit. Everybody else on the way up has yet to pit. Stephen Goldner and Jeffrey Kemper deciding not to pit at this point. But the pace car lights are off. That means these guys are going to double file once again and get ready for another restart here. So far, so good. I know if you guys remember anything from some of these races, sometimes these restarts, 2 or 3 laps and they're wrecking each other. I mean, we're almost getting 7, 8, almost 10 laps into a lot of these here. I know we went 10 on that last one before something silly happened, and that was a caution that should have never happened. That was a connection. That was an electronic failure. So I can't blame or point fingers there at the number 23, but he's got to be hanging his head at this point because the more Chris Schaefer keeps charging, the farther he keeps going back, right now sitting in that 19th spot. So he's got a lot of work to do to fight his way toward the front. And right now, man on the move. I mean, we got a bunch of them here. Let's start with Stephen Goldner. into the second position, or well, actually in the lead with 20 up 27 positions. Roger Craig sitting fourth, up 25, and Brendan Lacey up to 7th, up 18 positions. Alrighty, pace car is about to duck on off here. Good stack of cars. Let's get ready to get this one back green. Barney's locked and loaded here. Looks like he is out of the bar into the flag stand. There he goes. Green flag is out and away we go here. Definitely Jeffrey Kemper got a jump here, and he may be black flag for jumping the line. Definitely looked like he passed way before Stephen Goldner got going here, so Jeffrey Kemper may be black flagged. So we will see if that holds. Still making good run there toward the top. Doyle Lawrence seems not to be separating with Stephen Goldner here. These two have been working like two peas in a pod. Staying there working solid on the top. Right now, Roger Craig finally getting a chance for some open, clean air during this race. We'll see if Jackson Lomax wants to work with him. Jeffrey Kemper now coming down pit road. He is now going to serve that black flag. He jumped. And that's what I was saying. He may have passed that finish line before the leader did. Jeffrey Kemper, after an early tangle up there, ends up black flagged, and now he will be way in the back now, and hopefully not too far back, as you're seeing he's having to hold in pit. The only unfortunate part about that is him running out there by himself, not in the draft, is actually going to break him here. See plane landing there in the background. 98 and the 2 have reconnected. Let's see if they can rekindle and get something going here. Jackson Lomax and Christopher Berger on the top line. Brandon Ishkanyon, the little fire plug here, now up 14 position, sitting 9th. Let's see if he can go ahead and get this outside line. Roger Craig smells victory, and on the top he's going to move. See if he blocks in front of the 96 here. Right now, not really picking a lane. And now pushing Jackson Lomax to the top. Roger Craig sees it there, and around they're going to go. They're going to form their own lane, outside line forming. 96, of Jackson Lomax. Christopher Berger and Ishkanyon. Joseph Canellis, look at him. Not too bad. Joseph Canellis back up to 8th. Now get a big into the top 10. See if he can fight for a top 5 here. Right now, it takes 4 to tango on that top line. If Joseph Canellis can hold it here, that outside line can push. Brandon Ishkanyon backs off Christopher Berger here a little bit. And I think Stephen Goldner and Doyle Lawrence kind of see it happening. Spotters are getting ready. John Rayner in the 12th position, seeing if he can get a second line on the outside worked up here. Here they come. Jackson Lomax on the outside. Ishkanyon wiggles out of line there a little bit, which is not going to help their cause. They got to stay in the single file line. It's harder than it looks, but it's definitely something to see as they meet here toward the middle. Definitely trying to get a little bit of space. Toward the top they go. Jackson Lomax just barely there. Whoa, man. Yeah, I think the number 2 chickened out a little bit there, seeing the 747 rotate up the track. Definitely tough to do here. Taking a look here once again, still looking at Jackson Lomax. Good driving here so far by him and his crew. Taking a look back at the pack. There's a little nudge there by Christopher Berger, trying to see if he can give him a push through the turn. Not doing too bad at this point. Yeah, definitely trying to sneak out there, I guess, for some fresh air. My whole thing is if you were in this position, you got to actually grab a hold of that wheel and jam it. You got to almost bend his rear bumper. You want to go, make him go. But don't be reckless as we see. Ooh, man, John Rayner on the bottom end there of Joseph Canellis. Canellis falls out of the top 10 here, back to 14th. John Rayner making a lane there, definitely dangerous. I think it comes with a lot of discipline. These drivers learning how, when you have a run, not to push it. Sometimes if you've got to run, you got to let off the gas. Some guys get a run, try to ride the run, and say, I had the speed, and push them out of their way, and it just ends up causing a lot of problems. But Christopher Berger and Jackson Lomax finally getting a chance here. Still fourth and fifth. Outside line starting to move, but man, that 30 and that 3, it's hard to get them separated at this point. Brendan Lacey gets loose. Kyle Moonen sees it. And you want to give a shout out here to Kyle Moonen. Back onto the lead lap. That 24 Chevrolet's got a chance here as he's sitting in 8th. Man, oh man, 40 laps to go. We're already halfway over in this one. And it's starting to shape up to be a pretty good one so far. Brandon Ishkanian might be thinking bottom end to see if he can duck on out of that outside line. It seems not to be working at this point. Just due to some formation issues here. Rolling around with these guys top side. Let's see if we can chase a little closer. See how this top 10 is working. And we got lap traffic up ahead. Guys are going to catch it here pretty quick. They've got to make a decision what's to happen. Smart move. Get off the track at this point. That may be Jeffrey Kemper, actually, that everybody's catching up to at this point. Jeffrey Kemper is about to go a lap down here, and he's watching him catch up to him as we speak. Watching the entire field. Get out of the way. There you go. Good job. Good job. And it's really, don't hang your head about it at all there, Kemper. Fantastic job. It's smarter to stay out of the way here. Definitely got to get up to speed, though, brother. You want to catch back up to the back of that line so you don't end up falling farther back here. All right, let's keep going. As this front row here, man, whatever this 3 is doing to the 30 of Stephen Goldner here, I think everybody needs to take notes at this point. These two right now know when to push and when not to push. 3 backs off during the turns, during the straightaways. He's almost picking up the rear end of that car. Looking good here so far. Glad to see the top 10 so closely tight-knit here. There's the rest of these guys around this track, and this is exactly what I like to see. Green, green, green. And that's exactly what we've had for at least 10 laps now. So now everybody's staying real solid, getting around the track. Looks like a little bit of damage actually on the back of Doyle Lawrence's car here. And I wonder if Roger Craig's been giving him a push. See if we can actually take a look. You see the damage there on the front, actually the rear of the 3 of Doyle Lawrence. Outside line trying to take another peek here. Definitely interesting to see the rest of the field here. Taking a ride here with Roger Craig. See if we can take out. Oh, man. Might have been Mike Cranmer there down toward the bottom. Number 70 Chevrolet, I believe they just slung by. Definitely starting to see the rubber sticking to the windshield here. A good driving by the drivers here so far. Everything looking pretty solid. Taking a look out there in the chat. All right, finally got it. Somebody chatting with me. Stella. Glad you could join us here at the Coast to Coast Xfinity League here. You're saying they're looking great tonight. This is a great track for them. Yes, it's looking really, really good. Aside from, I believe you even joined in on Tuesday. Definitely shaping up to be a lot better than what we saw last time. So this is looking great. If you can imagine. Let's talk about pit. Lawrence, Craig, Lacey, and Goldner down pit. So the first 4 in that inside line have decided to come down pit at this point. We'll keep an eye on any of their strategies at this point. Don't want to blurt them out till I get everybody down pit. And for anybody who's tuned in, I hate to kind of spoil what's going on out there for any strategies on these guys. Not 100% sure. I would admit, though, Stephen Goldner down pit lane here for an extended amount of time in the pit stall. 40 seconds now and still going. He may have sped. And if Stephen Goldner sped on entry, this is going to absolutely break his race here. Had a solid run, and now he's going to be in the weeds. Right now, Jacob Butcher, Jackson Lomax, Brandon Ishkanian, Christopher Berger, Kyle Moonen, Chris Schaefer, Pat Boyce, Jeremy Tate, John Rader, and Terry Landis. These guys are all right now here in the top 10, finally getting a chance. Brandon Ishkanyon really been the receiver of a lot of bad luck lately. Hopefully he's able to turn this around and fight his way back toward the front. But again, the 23 of Christopher Schaefer is around. And I'm not quite sure why. It didn't even look like he hit anything here. As we are now under caution. I believe our lucky dog may be Roger Craig in the 747 machine. If I'm wrong, it may be Mike Cranmer. But we'll take a peek as we go through our caution replay here. Stella, I know you and I have talked a bunch here, especially here in the booth, but it's just... Once again here, this is not Christopher Schaefer's problem, and I would hate to throw him incidents here as we're taking a look here at the 23. Watch what's happening here. 23 is riding around the track. What happened? 23 goes around, and there isn't anything around him. So now he's tumbling through the rest of the field, hitting the 37 here. I'm just wondering if he's having a packet loss problem or something. But there was absolutely zero reason for this wreck. Nothing happened here. He didn't yank the wheel. He didn't crank it to the side. I have no idea why it did what it did. But can't undo it now. I mean, as we're taking another look at it here. Yeah, if there's one thing, getting hooked is what he's getting at this point. There's nobody there. And his car gets sent around. Really is. This is an absolute shame here for Chris Schaefer. I mean, I am baffled at this point what Chris Schaefer can do to stay onto the track at this point. Hopefully race control is definitely keeping an eye on this one because Christopher Schaefer's really been dealt a poor hand here tonight. Let's take a look at Christopher Schaefer coming down pit road. Boy, I hate to see it for this man. I really do. He's really had a heck of a run here tonight. And he was on his charge back to the front again, yet once again, for some reason, it seems Netcode has picked that 23 car. So if Chris Schaefer tunes into the broadcast here, bud, recommendation, change your paint scheme. Because I don't think iRacing likes it. So hopefully that Chevrolet will be doing a heck of a lot better next season. As he cannot be happy about this. But let's go ahead and rotate to the track. Preston Cranmer leading the way here. Jim Bowie will be second. Kyle Moon in third. Brandon Ishkanyon in fourth. Butcher fifth. Lomax sixth. Seventh will be Christopher Berger. Aiden Young. Finally, you think he's figuring out he wants to turn it up now. John Rayner in ninth and Pat Boyce. And I agree with you out there, Stella, in the chat. Been dealt a poor hand plus all the ones around him. I agree. I don't see why. You know what I mean? I know the three wide one, probably. That's been a lot of problems. But he was not three wide when we were looking at him. And it was almost almost the same area. So it's just it's kind of a silly deal here. And I just don't understand why that would be happening to him here. But if I take a quick little peek here, let me see if I can take a shot. If I am not mistaken, right now, Jim Bowie, sitting in that second position, is our highest salty dog out there. We got 7 on the track here tonight, so another gold dog bone is up for grabs. Roger Craig, I think, is going to run out of them here pretty soon, seeing how many of them are showing up here for the Asphalt League. But definitely the receivers of the gold dog bone are happy about it. Yeah, Kyle Moonen, look at this guy. Good Lord. Kyle Moonen from the back, getting wrecked. From the back again. Now back up to third. And it's interesting to see. I don't see anybody who's been in the front, maintaining in the front. Preston Kramer, we saw him fall back, but he's up 3 positions. Second, third, fourth, and fifth position, not one of these guys hasn't been back 15 positions from now. Jim Bowie was up 16, Kyle Moonen up 22, Ish Canyon up 19, and Jacob Butcher up 21. So Preston Kramer is the only one here who's used to being in the front this race so far. So as we take the green flag, he obviously knows what to do here on that restart as he gets a huge breakaway and apparently caught the rest of everybody sleeping. But keep in mind, him out there by himself as the draft starts to form, he's going to be a sitting duck, and they might just go around him. Kyle Moonen here, right, starting to form up. Jacob Butcher will be behind him here. And there they go. Kyle Moonen does just that. Catches the draft, slides to the outside. Cuts off in front of Jim Bowie here, and around they go. Kyle Moonen into the lead. Preston Kramer, no help. Everybody's letting him go around. Brandon Ish Canyon not giving the 058 any help here. 058 getting a little wobbly there, as well as Ish Canyon. Outside lane looking a little weird here. And Kyle Moonen running right dead center, not allowing either the inside or the outside lane to use that draft since he is getting some speed here. Preston Kramer chasing him up the track a little bit, but he gives up. And Kyle Moonen out to almost a half a second lead over Preston Kramer at this point, but that's not going to matter because we are under yellow. Matthew Robinson might be mixed up in this one here. Looks like some damage to the back end of his race car, and we see O'Neal Strauss behind him. Go ahead and head back to this yellow flag here. Got a couple of them in the bag here. Boy, this is, when we get to this is going to be a compound issue here. And let's take a look at it. Taking a look here at Matthew Robinson here in the 15. Following behind Canellis. All check up because of Rayner. Ooh, bam. Gets a shot there by Chapman. Now we'll see Chapman roll up the track. 3 wide. And now we'll stick actually with Chapman here in the 37. Let's stick with him, who collects the 48. 48 of Roland Olson is around. 48 up the track. Stephen Goldner. Boom. So now Stephen Goldner gets mashed to pieces. 15 got hammered. Definitely these guys are going to be running out of fast repairs here if they're not careful. Yeah, it's interesting to see what and how things happen when something goes wrong up the field. I mean, just how the rest of the field has to react to something like this is really remarkable. Is how these guys kind of figure out what to do here on the track. Just seeing we got to check up. Something changed. Something went wrong here, and then everything jams up here on the track. And I'll take a little look at it here, top side. Yeah, you see, looks like 18 gets a run. Rayner checks up because of the inside line jams. Accordion effect. Boom. Everybody's kind of hammering each other now. And then that just kind of does it for the rest of the drivers out here on the track. Let's see if we can rotate back. Jim Chapman rolls back up the track. 3 wide, 2 of them connect. And that's going to be about all she wrote there. Get us back live. 5 cautions in here, ladies and gentlemen. Not too bad. 25 to go. All right, patience out there in the chat. Moonen should be named Mr. Comeback. It's possible. It's possible. I've seen Brennan Lacey come back from some wild stuff. I'll say, Stella, you tune in a bunch. Who have you seen come from the back to the front that you don't expect? I've got a name I've got in mind as well. Says he doesn't even qualify and the reason why. And it seems to be working out here so far as he continues to march up front. And that'd be my driver out there, the number 69 of Aiden Young here. Definitely he waits, hangs out there in the back, let everybody kind of crash them all up, and then goes ahead and brings it back out and stays on the track and survives. So far, only got a couple drivers out. I don't think John Hine took to the track here tonight. Randy Shreves has run 40 laps out here, but Randy Shreves may have been disconnected and taken that back to the garage. Jeffrey Kemper is going to be down a few laps here after that speeding penalty, or actually the launch past the finish line. And Steven Goldner with a speeding down pit lane here. Steven Goldner, we're taking a look at his race car here, smashed to pieces after that tangle up there with Chris Schaefer. But our points leader, excuse me. Let me restart that. Our pole sitter who sat the pole here tonight and won, Dustin Renstedel, is actually back here in the 19th position. His Toyota's not doing so well right now, and he's got to figure out how to turn this around. You know, if he's that fast, he needs to be up in the front. So he's just got to figure out how to get up there. So guys are starting to stack here side to side. And Brandon Ishkanyon has got to figure out how to get around Kyle Moonen here. Kyle Moonen's going to try to set up this restart to his liking. Is he going to launch early or is he going to launch late? Can't slow down. Blue spot should be the restart. Brandon Ishkanyon needs to slow down. If he passes that finish line first, he'll be black flagged, and that's that. Yeah, Brandon Ishkanyon, he may be black flagged here. We'll see what iRacing does for him. He passed, we saw from our angle, he passed the line, so that might do it for that 19 machine here. Definitely not too good for that Toyota on the top row, but we'll see if Brandon Ishkanyon keeps pushing around here. Whoa. That's him sliding back there. I believe that is the number 3 of Doyle Lawrence there on the outside. 96 pushing the 19 still farther toward the front. Doesn't look like any issues yet. Saw Jeffrey Kemper having to come down pit before on a start like that, but we'll see. Kyle Moonen has now fallen back to the 4th position. Oh, man, and the teamwork here. Jackson Lomax into the front, Christopher Berger behind him, and these guys are separating again. Kyle Moonen knows better. He's seen this happen before, and he's going to follow along. Great job by these 3 guys here so far. Let's see if Kyle Moonen, he wants to pass on the outside. John Rayner finally getting his chance here toward the top. Sitting in 6th at this point on the inside of the 19 machine. And the 85, Jacob Butcher, I haven't talked about him much. His Ford now in the 3rd. Brandon Ishkanyon makes contact with Rayner. Rayner blinks out here. Oh, no. John Rayner with no speed on the track. I wonder if he has been eliminated due to incidents. Oh, wow. John Rayner's going to have a mouthful for him. Good thing it is the final race here of the season, so you can let him have it. Let's go ahead and get back on. We saw Doyle Lawrence there on the back end of the field make that wild move there on the backstretch, and in a matter of a lap or so here, has slid himself into 4th. Looks like Brendan Lacey thought the same thing. Both these guys, Kyle Moonen and Lacey, up our 19 positions here so far, rotate toward the top. Coming on to lap traffic here. If I'm not mistaken, that might be Christopher Schaefer there on the bottom. Inside line's got to kind of figure it out here, and Schaefer ducks on off. Good job, bud. Moving toward the bottom is Jackson Lomax. Christopher Berger looking for that lane, and he does. Good call out there, and spotter work. Starting to look like it's getting a little bit hazy here at Daytona. As it looks like we got what looks like a little bit of fog coming in. Definitely some cloud cover out there as these guys are getting around the track. Not too bad between 3 and 4 here. Definitely was looking bad out of turn 2, so these guys definitely may be having some visibility issues. No problem here so far, as a lot of the pack has dropped off here. Talk about way in the back, somewhere around that Cranmer area. Mike Cranmer definitely getting separated from the pack. Right now, Aiden Young and Steven Bixler got to kind of work together to get caught back up to this big clutch in front of him. Pat Boyce here in the 41, doing a good job in his Ford. Right now, now that he just knocked into that 5th position, back where he started. Up now 1, so at least he's up 1 position from where he qualified this race. It's one thing about these restrictor plate races and the super speedway races, it's anybody's race, and they got 18 to go to figure out who's going to be the winner here. Right now, Jackson Lomax, Christopher Berger, Doyle Lowrance. Right now, the strongest guys on the track. And from what I've seen, that 3 can push. So can the 2. Jackson Lomax in that 96 Toyota's got to be happy. He's got 2 guys he can trust behind him at this point to really shove them to victory. But Doyle Lowrance there is saying, you know what? I'd like to lead a few, and he moves in front of Kyle Moonen. Kyle Moonen agrees, says, I'd like my lane to get going, and may start folding his rear bumper in a little more than it already is. Definitely a lot more solid out here on the track. Guys not wiggling around as much as we came off of pit lane back on lap 46. A few heat cycling in the tires here, and these guys are back on the track, no problem. But Joseph Canellis trying to see if he can find himself another win here. Joseph Canellis sitting in 7th. We'll keep an eye on that number 1 car. Definitely a few cars here in the top 10 with some damage on that rear bumper, and you got to admit it's going to happen. Ooh, is Roger Craig there on the inside? 41 and Pat Boyce getting loose. Now catching up with some lap traffic here of the 72 of Zach Chapman, our points leader here. 3 wide, easy. And it looks like he found an area where he can tuck in. That's going to work out A-OK here for Zach Chapman. Came down pit on lap 56. Unknown at this point with the way these guys are driving, who gets fresh air, who tucks in, and who decides the draft, if these guys are going to have enough fuel to get to the end. Remember, it is 50% fuel load. So these guys should only have about 12 gallons in the tank. Neil Strausser there on the bottom. Now catching up to a new driver here down at the bottom. Jackson Lomax definitely watching out for Tim Chapman here that's on the top. Tim Chapman back in the South Park. Oh, Doyle doors him. Yep, I saw that coming. Here we go. And Brandon Ishkanian back in another wreck here. Back under caution. All right, and we're going to drum up this replay here. That may be the end of Brandon Ishkanian's night here. I think Tim Chapman thought maybe the rest of the field could get around. Remember what I was saying about the exit of turn 4? Would definitely be tough, and these guys wouldn't have a whole lot of room to really fight around on the outside. Tim Chapman takes the outside here, and I think that's kind of what gets all these guys collected here. Definitely see he's slower because he's getting back on the track, and that just kind of does it for him here. 3 coming with all that speed, almost 180 miles an hour, and he just has nowhere to go. Collects with him here, and then just starts piling up the rest of the field. Boy, and you want to talk about Joseph Canellis, right place, right time. Steven Bixler gets clipped there as well. Ishkanian hard into the wall. So that's going to be tough for some of these guys who have pit. The guys who have pit, now all of a sudden, if the leaders did have to pit, they will not get their laps back. We'll see if they get pushed around here and try a different angle. But let's go ahead and pop back live as pit stops are happening now. And this should be the final pit stop of the race. All right, after that little mishap out there on the track, we're getting down pit road. See if we can get a little closer to some of the action here on pit lane. Preston Kramer's going to remain out there. Pit back on lap 50. He must be feeling pretty good about his fuel mileage. Along with Steven Bixler, who pit on lap 50. Brandon Ishkin, you pit on 60. We saw him sling into pits. Matthew Robinson looked like he stayed out. A lot of drivers out here maybe for some fueling goes. So we'll see kind of how this unfolds here. Brandon Ishkin right now showing he might be getting a wave around or rotating toward the back here. Yeah, sometimes it's a little tumble up here for iRacing if he pit when the pace car was coming out. So he will probably end up with an EOL. Pit lane stays closed until everybody clutches up, and then everybody has a chance to come down pit road. We saw him head down pit road immediately after the wreck, so he will be automatically dealt an EOL, end of lane penalty. So he will be toward the back regardless. He was going to need to pit, and the EOL is smoked out of it anyway, so I don't blame him. Like I said, I get the pit out of the way and then just go ahead on out there, and you're not bumping and banging with the guys down pit lane. So that's going to get our guys re-racked here again. Should be a good shootout here toward the end, probably 13 laps. We do have some guys actually rotating on old tires here. Looks like Joseph Canellis went ahead and he's putting in the old insurance plan. He went ahead and he took 4 tires. Jacob Butcher took 4 tires. Everybody else did a fuel and go ahead of him. So I definitely expect to see that number 1 car on the move in this one. Pace car lights are out. Steven Bixler, Preston Cranmer, Christopher Berger, and Jackson Lomax. Kyle Moonen, Doyle Lawrence, Brennan Lacey, Pat Boyce, Aiden Young, and Terry Landis. Right now, 1 through 10. Matthew Robinson and Dustin Renstedel peaking just on the outside of that top 10 mark. So these guys got a long way to go. Looks like that actually might be Roger Craig there toward the bottom of the infield here. I think Roger Craig's about a lap down or so here. 2 laps down to be exact. Definitely in plenty of tangle-ups out there on the track. Definitely hard to avoid them when they almost seem to be everywhere. But at least not as many. These guys are getting a lot better here. But could definitely have some improvement. But we'd like to thank you once again here for joining the Coast to Coast Racing Network and SimTrax Broadcasting. Patrick Morrison here, bringing it to you live here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. As we're about to get this one back under green, Barney's got us going here, and away we go. Preston Cranmer finally getting back into the lead once again, and you see he's not doing what he did last time he had a restart, which is take off and almost leave the field. So now he's hanging around here with Jackson Lomax in the 96 Toyota. And Kyle Moonen, hard move here toward the outside, definitely squeezing it up. Number 3's been working with him tonight, so he's going to continue. Steven Bixler in the 75, moving up to the 7th. And now the weaving begins. Right now, 3 wide. Let's stay here with Steven Bixler. Whereas he's dangerously going down the center. He's got to find a lane. Outside is where I would pick at this point, as he's got an opening. There he goes. Steven Bixler getting out of that 3 wide. Was up at 7th, now down to 13th. Definitely showing some age in those tires. He's slowing down here. Connection there. Roger Craig trying to avoid it there. Definitely some guys loosening up. We got a few guys in the wall as well. It's like Mike Kramer might have gotten into the wall here with Brandon Ishkanyon here. Dustin Renstedel back into 13th, trying to fight his way back toward the front. Let's rotate farther toward the front. Let's see how the rest of this track is going. Look at the weaving here, top side, as we're in our chase chopper. Round and round we go. Looks like Terry Landis is off the race surface. He's got to be careful on his when he reinserts himself into this lane. Terry Landis looking pretty dangerous there around Matthew Robinson. Robinson wants to start moving his way back toward the front. Matthew Robinson with a 5th place finish last week. If I'm not mistaken, I believe a 3rd place finish on Tuesday. Definitely trying to see if he can continue this run. Joseph Canellis, like I said, cashed in here. Now in 8th place, watching Brennan Lacey hit the wall. But he's got to find time, and time is dwindling down. 10 laps to go left in this one as Kyle Moonen takes the lead. Preston Cranmer knows he's got a fast car, and these guys are connecting here. The 15 car, Matthew Robinson, has been taken out. Destroyed. I cannot explain the frustration and the pain the 15 has got to be feeling right now. Let's rotate it back and watch kind of what happens here. Takes a peek on the bottom here, and it must have been a 3 wide. Hopefully Matthew Robinson will be able to recover from this. Definitely don't want to pass below that yellow line here. If I'm not mistaken, sitting down pit. These guys are mashing each other up, and that may do it here. Race is finishing. I'm not 100% sure why. As we are finished. Alrighty, I'm going to rotate it back here to our last lap here and figure out, we may have run out of time on this one. I'm not 110% sure what happened here on this last lap. So I'll go ahead and show you guys here from the top section here. Let's take another look at it. Stay with our top 5 here. Kyle Moonen in the front. We see Aiden Young getting that 2nd position here. Inside line was working. 414 to Brennan Lacey. Connects with the half of the field. Shame on Lacey there for that move. Oh, and the shootout there toward the end. Yeah, and Aiden Young just gets 3rd place. Doyle Lawrence in 1st. Kyle Moonen 2nd. Boy, and that was definitely a weird setup for this one. Definitely, from my angle, definitely an abrupt finish. I will admit that. That was an abrupt finish. I'm not 110% sure why we ended so soon. I thought we had about 10 laps to go, but I may be wrong. We will, let's go ahead and have a catch-up with some of our guys here. Definitely hate when it does that, for sure. Definitely, don't like getting caught off guard here, and why we went checkered flag here right toward the end. I thought we had a bunch of laps to go here, but I'm wondering if some of these guys got caught off guard like I did. And, yeah, that's where everybody started sending it there, right there toward the end. So, hopefully we'll be able to, catch up with some of our drivers down there. I think they may be just about as caught off guard as I am. But regardless, we're going to try to catch up with them at this point. Let's have a little chat here with Aiden Young in the 69 Ford. Aiden, you got a copy on me here, bud?
I gotcha.
All right. Abrupt finish, eh?
Just a hair.
All right, man. Well, you decided not to really qualify here tonight. And once again, another top 3 finish. A heck of a way to finish the Xfinity Series here, bud.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It shows that I got 4th, so I'm kind of surprised.
Shows you got 4th.
Somehow, I don't know how.
Yeah, no, I'm showing you beating Jackson Lomax by a few thousandths of a second here.
Interesting.
Yeah, it should be Doyle Lawrence 1, Kyle Moonen came 2nd, Aiden Young came 3rd. Jackson Lomax 4th, Preston Cranmer 5th, Pat Boyce 6th, Dustin Reinstedel into 7th. 8th is Jeremy Tate. 9th came Brandon Ishkanyon from the back, and Jim Bowie came 10th. So interesting to see here, bud. Interesting to see. You missed, I believe you missed last week. You weren't feeling so hot there, bud, but you ended up with a pro late model championship and a 3rd place finish here tonight. Really, talk to me about your night here.
It just was a good night and just stayed out of trouble.
Come on, Aiden. You can do better than that here, bud. Definitely a wild one it was, coming from Marty over here to me for the Xfinity Series, dude. What a wild race. What are you looking forward to next season?
More NASCAR stuff and just trying to do whatever I can to win a championship.
All right, man. Well, definitely. It sounds like your voice is definitely taking a toll on you here, man. Definitely mashing and mushing it around. We'll kind of see what. Hopefully you feel better there, bud.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. There's Aiden Young. Interesting to see. Like I said, my ticker is showing that Aiden Young is the winner here for the 3rd place. I want to be 100% sure here who ended up securing this one. It's showing Jackson Lomax won it by 3. Yeah, I guess right there is what it's showing. 0.105, 0.108. Yeah, my ticker is showing that Aiden Young and Jackson Lomax got mixed up here. Interesting, because it's showing, yeah, how they're mixed up. Let me talk to Jackson Lomax while I'm thinking about it. Let me see what in the world. Jackson Lomax, you got a copy on me here, bud?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah, definitely a mix-up here, man. I am looking at my ticker here showing that Aiden Young got you right at the end, but it's showing actually here iRacing, you got him.
I'm not sure, man. I have no idea.
I'll leave it up to the race admins. Regardless, I'll let them kind of duke it out here at the end and let them figure it out. Regardless, I'll still have a chat with you here, man. Dude, talk to me right here about the end.
As soon as I saw white flag, I looked over, saw the timer going down. I was like, all right, well, this is the last lap. We got a boogie. And coming out of 4, I saw a move inside of number 7, so I went inside, and he kind of held me down. So that's why I was kind of under that yellow line. I didn't want to cause a wreck. I was going to try to let him get his spot, and I guess it was like net code. I didn't hit him. He didn't hit me. We just kind of spun right at the stripe. And if I crossed 3rd, I crossed 3rd. If I didn't, I didn't. But it's nice to interview 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, man, definitely a wild one here, dude. Just I'm beside myself at this point how this one kind of ended up here with the mix-ups that we're having. But regardless, we're still. I'll ask everybody here tonight. What are you looking forward to next season here, bud?
I like the asphalt stuff we're doing. I'm terrible on dirt. I'm an asphalt guy, so I like that they started doing a little more on asphalt.
All right. Well, definitely we'll definitely try to do that for you, man. If I'm not mistaken, points are updated. You came in 6th after 4 races here, so not too shabby. If you're able to show up for all the races next season and be able to push your way to the front, man, I think you'd be a solid top 5.
I hope so. We ran good. We were out front all night, so.
All right, man.
We'll see what we can do. Well, I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, not a problem. Go and give me shout-outs here, bud, for all the people out here watching you and your sponsors.
I'd like to thank everybody for putting this on. It's awesome. It's fun to do. Appreciate it.
All right, Jackson Lomax, great job tonight, Mud, and I'll keep an eye out for that 96 Toyota and another date.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, everybody, that moves us to our second third place finisher here tonight. Like I said, I'll let Race Control kind of duke that out here, out there in the chat. Abrupt, what an understatement is what Stella said. I will admit, I do not have a timer up here, so I don't know how long these guys can or cannot race, but it was definitely a heartbreaker. I would have loved their, last 8 to 10 lap shootout there, and that's what it was really shaping up to be, and just absolutely destroyed that for us here tonight. So hopefully, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Moonen should be our second place finisher here tonight. Let's see if we can catch up with Kyle Moonen here. Kyle, you got a copy on me here, bud? Oh, come on, Kyle.
Sorry, gotcha.
There you go, bud. All right, dude, what a race it was tonight. I will admit from the top here, pretty dangerous moves you're making out there.
Yeah, they were. I was trying to be patient at the at the beginning, everyone was dicing around like crazy, so it wasn't as easy to get some speed and find a hole and send it 3 wide, and hope everyone would hold their line. But got lucky there a couple times and slipped right through. So.
All right, you only missed one race here in the 5 races of Xfinity, man. You only missed one race and still have a 8th place finish in the points running, only 1 point behind Christopher Schaefer. He had 308, you had 307. Definitely tough, man. Wild run here tonight. It looked like it may have been in the bag for you, but just barely, Doyle just barely eked it out there, man. Awesome run regardless here tonight.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty happy with that. The way the last couple have went, starting from the pits and getting caught up and stuff and all that. So I'll take a second.
All right, I will admit, I'll ask you because like I said, pretty steady out there, but you're very confident of how you're driving out there on the track. Any idea why everybody was wiggling pretty bad here tonight?
I really don't know. I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard when you're following, right on the guy's bumper ahead of you, just because it's harder to see the wall and see what everyone in front of you, is doing, and then the guy in front of you starts doing it, and I think it's kind of one of those, it's just trying to tell yourself to hold the wheel straight no matter what, the guy in front of you is doing.
Yeah, not overcompensating. Sometimes I've seen just a simple seat adjustment. If these guys actually sit up in the car a little bit, it'll help steady them out instead of it jerking around as much. But definitely great run here tonight, Kyle. What are you looking forward to next season here, bud?
I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to running, some more of this pavement stuff. I've always pretty much ran dirt stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. Probably looking forward to some of the enduro stuff. That's always a good time. So just that and kind of see how it goes. So.
All righty, man. Kyle Moonen, give me your shout outs here for all the people out here watching you, the sponsors on the car.
Just Velocity Race Design. Ross over there does all of our paints, and still have to get one of these and a truck done. But him, everyone at Vanderbilt, you guys for the broadcast, and everyone for the league.
All righty, Kyle Moonen, the number 24 Chevrolet. Great job tonight, bud.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good one. Too.
All right, that'll do it for Kyle Moonen there. That's going to bring us to our Cool Ray Victory Lane here with actually somebody I haven't seen here in Cool Ray Victory Lane. Doyle Lowrance, man. Dude, what a run it was here tonight.
Thanks. I wasn't expecting that because I was expecting at least 10 more laps. When I heard the white flag, I was like, holy cow.
You and me both. I don't think there's a person here or viewing that didn't get shocked going, all right, this is going to be a good 10-lap shootout. And then I had checkered flag as I'm watching guys wreck. So I'm a little beside myself at this point. I think we needed about another 20 minutes left in the run room there. But regardless, you did a lot of pushing here tonight instead of leading. I'm assuming you're pretty surprised still leading as a pusher here tonight.
I was just trying to get myself in a position where I could capitalize at the end. That last restart, I tried to follow Kyle, and I think lap 2 into that, after that last restart, we stayed on the outside, and the door opened up on the inside, and I figured, well, I'll take it and see what it gives me with 10 laps to go. And then when we came around to the stripe, it was white flag. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah, definitely had to hold it up. Looked like you made that cut to the inside just in time to bring out the win here, man. Awesome job here so far this season. I'm trying to take a peek here. How many times you've run here, man?
I think this is my first run, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, I think I've seen you in the trucks, but not in Xfinity.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been able to run Xfinity. So I'm pretty pleased. Plus, this is my first run with the Wrangler paint scheme, so I got that thing back in victory lane.
All right. Well, definitely may have some good luck being able to fight that one out. But great job here tonight, man. You got it done. What are you looking forward to next season?
Consistency and just staying out of trouble. So we'll see how that goes.
Alrighty. Hey, you gonna be more into the dirt or the asphalt?
I'm probably going to be more in the dirt.
Oh, man, that's the first time I heard that here tonight. All right, Doyle. Well, go ahead and give me your shout-outs here for the sponsors on the car and the people out here watching you, bud.
Well, I just want to thank Roger for the league and the opportunity to run here, and for you guys for broadcasting. It's always nice to go back and watch the broadcast and listen to what's going on and watch what happens. So it's fun. I enjoy it, and yeah, I had a good time.
Oh, yeah, we definitely put a different perspective on it here in the booth, man. Great job tonight, and I can't wait to see that number 3 Chevrolet put some more damage on the track in the next season.
That is the plan.
All right, Doyle Lawrence, great job tonight, bud.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, everybody, Doyle Lawrence there he is. I actually want to slide over to our winner here of the championship. He didn't have a good run here tonight. He definitely ended up mashed up into pieces. And that'll be actually Zach Chapman here in the number 2 Chevrolet. Let's see if we can catch up with Zach here. Zach, you got a copy on me here, bud?
Yeah, hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, definitely not your night tonight, but it was your season.
Yeah, I can't get them all, but luckily I was consistent enough. I think I had top 5s in all the other races. Just consistent, and it was enough to get it done.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, man. Definitely, it was a wild one out here tonight at Daytona. What could have changed here at Daytona for it to work out for you here?
This definitely isn't like a call out or a shot at anyone. Just for next season, we just need to work on a little bit with the lap cars. I know that there was some car had an incident on the bottom there, and I mean, if not for that caution real late, I mean, I was a lap down. That my race would have been over. But I was lucky and got the lucky dog and still had a chance to compete. But we just need to do a little better job of letting the leaders race at the end and getting out of the way if we're not competitive.
Yeah, definitely. I know C2C is looking kind of in a rule book, and I've heard in some cases you can race your race, but kind of on these super speedways that doesn't work. You kind of need to. They have you actually hop off on the apron and get out of the way because. Really, here at places like Daytona, you're struggling for room. I mean, it's hard to hold sometimes 2 lanes. You get 3, you're really making it dicey. And we saw Christopher Schaefer get mashed up in at least 2 wrecks tonight from who knows what. I mean, if you go back to the broadcast here, Zach, it was definitely a mix-up here and really a bad one here tonight. You ended up 18th. I know you ended up crushed up, I think, 2 or 3 times here tonight, but you were able to still survive to finish. Which is more than some he can say here tonight, bud.
Yeah. Like I say, just want to do brighter things next season. Hopefully, we work on it a little bit, figure some things out, and I don't know. It's the deal, Patrick. I mean, at Talladega, Daytona, and now Atlanta, everybody's fast. But I mean, you got to be respectful. Know who you're around. Know who's wearing points, and you got to race people the way you want to be raced. Cars that are lap down, you don't need to throw it in the middle 3 wide, with 25 to go and stuff like that. It's just people need to watch their aggression a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. 110%. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, I would say, yeah, those super speedways, man, you guys just have the draft, so you're already 15 to 20 miles an hour faster than, the guy out there putting around by himself. So it's definitely a heartbreaker, but not for you as a champion here. For the Xfinity League, I'm sure you're gonna want to go back to back in the next season, man. So definitely, hopefully, we continue seeing the winning spirit out of that number 72 here tonight. Go ahead and give me your shout outs here, bud, and the sponsors on the car.
100% first shout out to Team Gambler. We won 2 championships tonight. Aiden Young won the late model championship, and I was lucky enough to see all this one. So pretty good night for us. As a team, it's always good when that happens. Shout out to, of course, Andy at Cool Ray. Bright Box Electrical, Mr. Plumber, Aiden over there at Young Gun Creations, my dad for helping fund the league, you for putting on the broadcast, and last but not least, my wife.
Attaboy. All right, Zach Chapman, great job here tonight, man. Still, like I said, bad showing, but it's the consistency that matters, and that's what brought home the championship win here in the Xfinity Series. Great job, bud.
Thanks, man. You got to take it how you can get it, right?
Yeah, any way possible, bud. All righty. All right, everybody. Zach Chapman, that is our champion for the Xfinity League. Awesome there by him here tonight. He won with 436 points. Brandon Ishkanyon was second with 383, and Jeremy Tate with 377. Aiden Young in the fourth place with 356, and Pat Boyce sitting there with 332. So definitely something to keep in mind on that one. For these guys to get wound up here in the end of the piece here. I can actually see if we can head to the last lap here. If you guys want to hang out just a second and kind of see who ended up in that third place position here, whether it was Aiden Young or Lomax here. And I can see if I can find something kind of how it turned out here right at the end. Because it definitely was a close one for sure. Let me see if I can find something a little bit closer.
Still on the air?
Yep, and we're going to be just a second. We're taking a look here at this third place finish. Here, and 3:24, 96 got him. All right, 96 just barely beat him there. Right there here toward the end. That was the only thing I was concerned about, is how he got him here right at the end. Alrighty. That should go ahead and seal the deal. Yep, just barely eked past. So the 96 brings up the win. All right, appreciate you guys joining me here tonight at Simtrax Broadcasting. Definitely oh boy, hold on a second. I got John Hine catching up with me. John, talk to me here, bud.
Yeah, I just wanted to come up and say on the air that thank you for all that you've done this season, and let everybody know you'll be back here next season with us. And everybody come on back a week from now, and make sure you keep tuning in. And Patrick, thank you for all you do behind the scenes and everything else. And, working with our other broadcasters, everything else, I can tell you everybody in the league appreciates it, and thank you.
Oh, wow. All right, cool. Appreciate that, John. Hey, man, I can't wait to catch you up with the Pro Late Models in the Truck Series on Tuesday, man. That's definitely going to be a wild one. I got to see the professor at work.
Yeah, I don't know if that is to be good or bad, but I'll give you something to talk about one way or another.
Oh, yeah. All right. John Hine and the number 71 dude. I can't wait to see what you got coming up. Guys, don't forget what is it there, John? It's the Wing. King of the Wing. That's right. King of the Wing.
And if anybody out there, you can just donate. It'll go to charity here. So it'll be a cool event. It'll be Sunday, Monday. So look for that on our YouTube page, and be another good show with some winged sprint cars.
Oh yeah, and I'll be there for Sunday. Whoopee!
Awesome.
All right, man. Thanks, John. All right, everybody, and taking off from the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Patrick here at Simtrax Broadcasting, signing off. I will see you guys next time. Be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see you guys next time.